Hi fellow reefers, I'm Eddie of Eddie's Reef Korea. Today's weekly video is on the two recently purchased SPS corals from Worldwide Corals. I'm going to show you those corals, and I'm also going to show you some changes that I did in the tank. And I had a nutrient level issue, and I thought I explain how I'm addressing the issue and what product I'm actually using. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and let's take a deep dive into it. Hold on. Okay, and here we are in front of the tank, focused at the two corals that I recently purchased from Worldwide Corals. The one on the lower left, that's a little frag that I got. It's got beautiful colors, and although it's a small frag, it cost me a little bit more than usually, but this is I'm talking about, it's a beauty. Now, the one on the top, panning towards the left, that one is a very, very beautiful type of SPS coral. It's encrusting on the plug, so that's a good sign. And that's the number one choice that I would go for. So that's one of the first pan the tank that I thought I'd show you. Okay, now here, that's where I had the candy cane. I had the first frag from the candy cane. I placed it there, it was doing great, then all of a sudden it kind of started to shrink. So I had put it on the substrate. If you follow me and you look back on the different videos that I shot, you noticed that it was doing great on the lower part of the substrate. But it started, I was starting to get issues on it, so I had to swap it to another frag, which I placed here. But I was noticing that it wouldn't open as much, it was like crumbling. So what I did is I had to go ahead and change it and lower it all the way to the bottom, which I'm going to show you now, because these corals really, I've noticed, and I did, as you must follow, and people that follow me, you know that I do a lot of research. And the candy cane, I mean, it's a beginner's coral. You can place it, I mean, on any part of the tank, and it will tolerate different swings of your parameters. But they do recommend that this coral should really be kept, or it's going to do better when the par value is between 50 and 70. So when you're talking about a par value of 50 up to 70, you're talking about way down on the lower part of the tank, and actually with a bit of a shade. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the camera and I'm going to show you where I actually placed it. And here we are. I placed it down here. It's right below the Monty cap. And as you notice, it's got a little shade, and the polyps are actually more happier. They're puffed up. They're opened up, where when I had it up there, it was like retracted. So definitely the rule of thought, or the lesson to be learned, is that these candy canes, although they do say that you can place them any part in the tank, but really when I started to look around, these corals do better within a par value range of between 50 and 70, which again, I'll reiterate, as I said before, that when you're talking about a par value of between 50 and 70, you're talking about the lower quadrant of the tank, more or less where the substrate is. So that's where I placed it. I just, it's not in a rock or nothing. I just buried it, and I put sand, you know, so it's not going to go, you know, just push sand on the trunk of it. And it's, so far, this is the second day that I've had it there, and it's much happier. The polyps, as you notice, they're puffed up, so I thought I'd show you that. Another change that I did, it was the hammer splatter. Okay, the hammer splatter, if you look back in my other videos, I had it like right there. Well, I noticed that it really doesn't open completely, but I was noticing like there was like a bit of current coming from, let's say, the right side. Now, as you must recall, again, if you follow me, you'll notice that I had to ramp up the MP10 to 100, then I brought it down to 90. So I have a cushion to play with if I need to go a little higher because of the Acros. But the MP10 is on the left, so what's happening is it goes all the way across the tank, it hits the glass, and it's creating like a current that then goes down, which is great, and then it goes up again, like a circling motion, but on the front of the tank, not from the back to the front, from the left to the right. So I was noticing that going to it now where I placed it, I was noticing that it was kind of like, how shall we say, the polyps on the right hand side of the coral were kind of like waving up. You know, it was like, you could notice that it was like a little bit of too much current. So I went ahead and I placed it here on the back, like shielding it from so much current, and it's doing great. It's much better. I mean, it's opening normally how it should, and it's happier. It's not like being, shall we call it, like irritated from a little bit more than actually a flow that it would actually need. So that was the other change that I actually did. So panning from left to right, this is how the tank is looking now. No other changes except those two, as you see on the bottom. The new corals. Then here, I'm doing it from the side view, a left angle. So I thought I'd show you guys, and this is the new positioning of the hammer splatter and the candy canes. Okay, now here, I'm panning from the right side. And this again is a complete shot of the tank, how it looks now. Okay, and now to the final topic, which was how to address the issue that I had with some algae on the rocks and on the substrate. Okay, if your tank is not that aged, if the water's not that aged, by what I mean is, like, let's say this tank turned 1 year on October of 2019. So although the tank is cycled and all that, what you should do is keep adding your beneficial bacteria, but at the dosage considered for low nutrient on a weekly basis. So it'll keep colonizing and colonizing, and then the organics, or in this situation, the algae that I was seeing on the rocks every other day, and then on the substrate, it will go ahead and address the issue. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it educational, informative, and fun. If you did, hit the like button, the thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel. Next to it, there's a little bell. Hit that. That's the notification bell. So every time I upload a video, which is weekly, you'll be the first ones to see that Eddie's Reef Aquaria has uploaded a video. And like I say at the end of all of my videos, happy reefing. Thank you very much for watching my